Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about how I Know What You Did Last Summer got us to root for criminals. It's funny. Now, I love I Know What You Did Last Summer. I love Scream more, but I really enjoy I Know What You Did Last Summer. And something just dawned on me last night. I never stopped to even think or consider this possibility, but it's like somehow throughout the entire movie you're rooting for the four group of friends, but they're technically the bad person in the movie. Technically, they're the criminals and everything, but you're rooting for them, and you're rooting for them to live, for a man who wants revenge on them because they ran him over and left him for dead in the ocean and stuff. Have you ever stopped to think about that? They're the ones who committed a crime twice, but yet you root for them for the entirety of the movie. Now, granted, yes, Ben Willis, the fisherman, is just as bad as them. He actually kills people and stuff. But in the first movie, we don't find that out until the very end when it is him going after them and, hacking them up and stuff. Isn't that kind of bonkers? Like, it's weird because it's like, we don't know who Ben Willis really is throughout the entire movie. We don't know is actually the dude that they ran over who's committing these murders. And we didn't know he committed murders in the past until the sequel movie. And then when we find out it's him, all of a sudden we're like, ooh, we just want you to die, fisherman, and stuff like that. But when you stop and think about it, he's just doing a very logical human thing, and that is want revenge on somebody who ran him over and left him in the ocean. Granted, he went about it the wrong way with a hook and going murdering people, but still, when people are that pissed, that's what they think about and stuff. So what caused us to want to root for criminals and everything? Well, it was their likable personalities. See, the group of four teenagers, later adults, as they graduate from high school, well, technically, I guess they're adults and everything, because they're just like 18 or whatever. So anyway, but they're very likable people, except for Barry. He's a jackass in the box. But everybody else is very likable and sympathetic. We get to know all of them early on in the beginning of the movie, and throughout the movie, there's just so much sympathetic stuff that's going on with them. You can't help but to feel bad for them. You have Julie, who's this sweet, kind-hearted girl who's intelligent and, wants to see the best out of life and everything. And she gets pressured into doing something she doesn't want to do. And so throughout the movie, the guilt of what they did weighs on her, even to the point of her not doing somewhat that good in school because she can't make the dean's list. And we can see, the guilt all on her face when she comes back home. She doesn't want to eat. She doesn't want to interact with her mom. Then, she broke up with her boyfriend at some point for a full year. And, he wants to get back with her, but she doesn't want nothing to do with him because she feels guilty that, he didn't man up and she didn't woman up and everything. And so you feel sorry for her and stuff, even though she spent the whole year not telling the truth. And then you have Helen, who's like the fun girl and the beauty pageant winner. And, she has these dreams of like making it big in Hollywood and, all this other stuff. And she wants to get out of her small town, only to see a year later, she's right back where she started. Hollywood didn't want her. She's living back with her folks and she's working at her family's shop. And when we first see her introduction a year later, she knocks over the display case because she's nervous and, like, is a bumbling idiot and stuff like that. Then you have like Ray, who's just like this all around nice guy. He has a girlfriend. He doesn't do a very good job of like protecting her because he's just too much of a nice guy. There's this other dude who wants his girlfriend, and like, a year he gets pressured because he's the one driving the car, even though he wasn't drunk, probably was tipsy, but he wasn't drunk. And so he fears that, he can go to jail for like life because his family's not rich. And then so a year later, we see him still stuck in like that town, that small town. And he became a fisherman, and he finally found out who his dad was, and his girlfriend don't want him no more, and his friends thinks he's like a dude with a hook. And then you just have Barry, who's just a jerk. But the fact is, they cast these people with like the biggest like puppy doll droopy face they could like cast and everything, and you can't help but to feel sorry for them. But in actuality, you have them driving in the car, you have Barry who's drunk acting a fool, and they get distracted and they run over a man in the middle of the street. The man wasn't doing nothing, he was just walking in the middle of the street. Then they contemplate for the longest time, and when they never call the police and everything because they don't want to go to jail. Then next thing you know, here comes a dude, and they don't tell him nothing. They just kind of cover up the body. Then they take it out to the pier and they dump it in the water to hide the evidence. Biggest problem there is that the man is still alive, and they knew that. Because the moment they open and dump him, he grabs Helen's crown. So Barry goes in after the crown, and the man is still fully alive, and Barry just leaves him there. After they smacked him around first, to get his hand off Helen and stuff. Yeah, it's like they leave him there for a full year and they just go out about and live their lives. They are little criminals in a hit and run attempted murder. But yet we root for them for the entirety of the movie. And then, of course, they're being stalked by somebody. We don't know who this person is or the relation he has to the man that they dumped into the water. So we feel even worse for them because of what all happens to them. Julie finds like, what was it? Crabs in like her car. Barry gets he gets ran over. Helen gets her hair cut off, and Ray has nothing happen to him. So like, and then of course in the climax of the movie, you have all of them either being like stabbed or chased or something like that. Then you find out that the person that is trying to kill them is the dude they ran over. And it's kind of like, huh. But yeah, throughout the entire movie, you're rooting for these four criminals, and you want the dude who actually got ran over to get his comeuppance. It's like the weirdest, like, flip the script type thing that I've ever seen, and I just realized that just now. And then to top it all off, when the end of the movie comes and they think they got rid of like Ben Willis, the cop literally asked them like, do you know why this man came after y'all? And the two survivors are like, nope. They didn't even tell that they hit the dude with the car and threw him over in the ocean to kill his behind. And it's just kind of like they just got away with that and lived their lives. And it's like they're criminals though. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.